So welcome back, Cherie Anderson with Professional Tour Management Training. I've been leading tours, cruises, and programs for years and training others just like you to do the same for over 20 years. So I know what I'm doing, and I'm so glad you're here. And I love your comments about the videos. I really, really appreciate it. I'm glad, and I'm hoping that you'll have the wonderful opportunities that I've had and that so many of us have had, that sort of this secret that nobody seems to know about. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about us. So hope this really helps. And thank you again for your comments. If you are watching this for the first video, please go back and watch video 1 and 2 before you get to this one so that you know what I'm talking about. I want you to get as much information as you can. I'll be leaving the videos up for the next week, so don't wait too long to get through it. Watch those videos, come back, and I'll be here for you. So that's my suggestion. Also, if you have friends that you think this might be interested in this also, share it with them. You're welcome to share the videos, but don't wait too long, because I'm only leaving them up for a week, because in a week I'm starting my new courses. I want to get people up and going. I've got a Zoom planned, and so I'm only going to be leaving these up for the next week, and then we'll be busy. So I hope that helps. So to review, I want to go back. We talked about escorted tours, inbound tour operators, outbound tour operators, deluxe, budget, over-the-road tours. We talked about the convention meetings and incentive market. And I just briefly started to talk about the student market. This is probably the market that has the biggest increase. It just amazes me how far it's come in recent years. So lots of opportunity. You may be working with boys and girls from the Boys and Girls Club. It may be a class trip. It may be a trip for the band, the performance team. You may be doing Washington, D.C. There's tours all over the world. If you're in California, maybe you're taking them to Sacramento. Maybe you're taking them to the Mission, all over the United States. But I'll tell you what's really busy is Washington, D.C., for obvious reasons. Washington, D.C. is extremely busy, particularly in the springtime. We have tour directors from all over the U.S. that will go to Washington, D.C. just to do those tours, and back to back throughout the springtime, the busiest season for student tours. It's a great way to start getting experience. It's a great way to network. You'll have kids that are so excited to travel, and most of them will just love you. So can be really a lot of fun. But it's also a great way to meet other tour directors. And you will find, I just think we work with the best people in the world. And so you'll meet them there. You might run into them again at the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone in the next couple of years, or over in Paris. It's just amazing. It's a big world, but it's a small world as far as as our industry. We just know each other and just love what we do, and love the people that we work with. So hope you enjoy that. But you might also do student tours to Disneyland or Disney World. They might leave on a Friday and you're there for the weekend. Maybe you have another job Monday through Friday, and you can take a Friday off, or a Monday, or a couple of days here and there. The tours, they're multi-day tours, but they're shorter than normal tours. So maybe you can fit that in to what you do, or maybe there's some local student tours that you can do in your area. But and if you don't like kids, it's not a great way to get in. I'm also going to give you an overview of a calendar, how you can keep busy all year, have income coming in all year, which is important, I know, to a lot of people. And student tours, again, are especially busy in the springtime, right after the holidays, and slow down a bit in the summer. None of the companies stop completely, but some have busier seasons than others. So it's a great time to get in and to particularly work for those seasons. Now, I also want to mention tour guides, and this can be a lot of fun. Tour guides, again, I mentioned, are local. There's lots of different types of tour guides. If you have another job, maybe you can tour guide on the side and start getting experience, or just do it for fun, to start networking. So for instance, we have sightseeing guides, very popular. If you're in a major city where there's lots of tours, you'll see all kinds of vehicles, buses that all, they have the double deckers, they have the ones without roofs, which are great for places like Chicago, New York, where you're looking up at the high rises. You have TMZ tours, you have Stars tours. I mean, there's so many different types of sightseeing tours, the trolley tours that are going. So great way, and they'll train you right on the, how to do the narration and such. Some the drivers do it, and some they'll have guides step on and do it. We have step-on guides, and these are guides that will work with groups that are coming into the area, or maybe getting off the cruise ship for the day, and they're going to do a city tour in that local area where they're disembarking the ship. So, it's like if I go into, let's say, San Francisco, I already have a motor coach, I have my group, I have my driver. I don't want to put them on a sightseeing tour. We don't need that. We need somebody to step on our coach and take over, and that's a step-on guide. So they'll step on the coach, do a 4 or 5 hour tour, direct the driver throughout the tour, and then get back 4 or 5 hours later. And that's a step-on guide. Great way to network also, because you're meeting tour directors, you're working with those companies that do escorted tours. So it's a great way to network. We have private tours. A lot of guides will offer private tours. They can do it through web searches, get their name on the web search, Facebook, all of that. But then there's also companies on like if you put in Guides of New York, you'll see companies that will come up that have guides all over the country that they can contract with. Airbnb, even I don't know if you're familiar with their experiences program. Anybody can start doing their own tours. I know one of the most successful one is probably a young gal. I think she's young. I don't know, but she just walks up to the Hollywood sign and charges, I don't know, $40 per person, takes a group up to the Hollywood sign, had thousands of very nice comments a while back. So, or teaching them how to surf, people how to surf, or how to kayak, or taking them hiking, or, just go to Airbnb and look up experiences, and really easy. They market it for you, they collect the money, and then you do the tour. Again, great way to get experience. We have specialty tours. I often get lists of companies looking for like ghost tours. We have ghost tours all over the country. You have an interest in that? And they'll train you. So you might look that up. Taste of have become very popular. So Taste of New York City, Taste of New Orleans, Taste of wherever. And these are tours that will go out for 3 or 4 hours. They'll do a tour, but then they also stop at the local restaurants, and people have a chance to try their specialties. So that's become very, very popular. Docents, I want to mention. Docents are volunteers from the community that will go in and to the missions, to the museums, to the presidential libraries, to the federal, state buildings, and volunteer their time as guides. Great way to get training, great way to get experience as far as working locally. For instance, if you're a docent at one of our missions in California, you're going to learn the mission system, you're going to learn all about California history. Great, you start doing California tours, and boy, that's really important. Plus you have a chance to practice guiding and working with groups, so it can be very, very helpful. In fact, one of the gals that took my training years ago, she became a docent at our San Juan Capistrano mission, and when we have questions, we call Patty, because she'll have answers knows things that the rest of us don't really even know about. She's a wonderful source. So I want to kind of talk about a calendar. I know people wanted to keep busy all year. So think of your calendar, your 12-month calendar, right after the holidays, right after Christmas and New Year's. We have our student tours starting that I mentioned. So it's a good time to get into leading student tours. If you don't want to work with student tours and you're more interested in more of the hospitality side, you're interested in convention meetings and incentives, our meeting planners hire people at that time. That's the busiest time of year for the convention meetings and incentive market. That in the spring up until summer, and then again in the fall. Now they slow down when people are on vacation and during the holidays. So summer, they don't stop, but they slow down. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they slow way down, which I kind of personally like, but they slow down, and then they pick up again right after the holidays. So now we've got the first 4 months or so of the year covered. Now we're getting into summertime, and we know all of our tours are going to be busy in the summertime through the United States, our international tours. Now, when I was busy all the time leading international tours, I was busy all year because I would do our typical summer tours. And then when fall started coming around, I would go below the equator. And that's where our tours, South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Africa, those tours all pick up in our wintertime because it's their summertime. So I could just keep busy all year. But if you don't have that luxury, I should say, and being able to do international, if that's what you want to do all the time, there's long flights, but I loved it. Again, I get to places and just think, how did I, and just pinch myself, which you probably have done too, since you're watching this, and I'm assuming you love travel as much as I do. So those tours are all busy. Our national parks, like I said, Yellowstone, our DC, are all over the United States, Europe, very, very popular in the summertime. In fact, most people that are on escorted tours are 70% are 50 and over. And if they're retired, they prefer traveling in the fall. Fall is actually our busiest time of year. So in the fall, we have our summer programs going. Alaska, oh my gosh, do you want to spend the summer in Alaska? They're often looking for people to work for Alaska in the summertime. Tour guides, tour directors. Great place. I mean, people will go there year after year. Again, another great place to network with other tour directors too. So, and I can help you with that. So Alaska programs in the summertime. So those start slowing down in September. It's getting cold and dark by then in Alaska. Our fall foliage tours pick up. That's when, the colors change. And if you're on the East Coast, it's a wonderful market to get into. So we have our retirees that would rather travel in the fall when the kids are back in school and it's not as busy, say, over in Europe or over at the national parks and such. So now we're getting into fall again. I mentioned the convention meetings and incentive market is extremely busy. Like I said, one of the companies I work with, they'll pay us $50 to recommend somebody. So if you want to work in Southern California, you can do, and you know how to do convention meetings and incentives, let me know. I'll recommend you. So they're all looking for companies. In fact, at the bottom of most of their emails, they say, please, if you know people, that are competent and such, let them know. So I hope that helps. So that gives you an idea. In addition to all of these tours, of course, we have tours like youth tours and camping tours, adventure tours, sports tours, professional tours like for doctors and lawyers. One of my favorite all-time tours was taking a group of geriatric nurses to Russia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and then ending up in Finland. I mean, it was great. And we went to places people don't usually go because they were specialized in geriatric care. And I don't know if you know, in Georgia, they have remember the old commercials for yogurt where they talked about the people in the mountains that ate yogurt and they were 104 and 108 and they had the most centenarians and anywhere in the world. That's right there. And they have a big research center. So it was really, really interesting. Those, or architecture tours. I mean, those are kind of tours. Once you get in, you'll start networking, you'll start learning about all these different companies. And we have major tour operators. We have all kinds of tour operators, and sometimes those specialty tour operators are really the most fun to work for and the most profitable to work for. So you'll learn. Let me help you get in the business. So let me say here, again, I hope you enjoyed the videos. It's been fun to put it together. It's always fun to share what we do. Most of my family friends don't have a clue what we do, so it's always fun. And I've loved your feedback. I hope it's really helped you. I know it's helped a number of people so far that I've heard from. And I just think it's great. If you do want to take it to the next step, if you are interested in my training, I'm hoping you are. I try to keep things safe, easy for you, for the tour members. There's a lot to cover. My class is rather extensive, and it covers your career now, getting in and in the future. But I also started a course called Fast Track Tour Management Training. I just put together to just try to get people ready right away. I put together bonuses. I really bundled everything I think you need to not only start the careers I've been talking about, but additional careers in travel that I don't have time to talk about here. So that I'll be opening enrollment to that soon. I'll be introducing all of that. Watch for the video. I'll try to tell you specifically what it's all about. I hope to see you in there. And it's only going to be available for the week because I've got to get started. I mean, my plan is to, as soon as the enrollment is over, to really work personally with the people enrolled so we can get them up and working right now when they need people, either part-time or full-time. So don't think you have, by the way, don't just quit your job. I've tried to mention jobs that you can do locally and with your job. I've said that to so many people, and then they quit their job. Not always happy with it, but I don't recommend that at this point, because there's so many things you can do, hopefully with the job that you have now. And part of that depends on where you live. So I hope that helps. So now it's your turn. Go to Facebook, like the page, share the videos, share the page with people that you think might be interested. I have a download for you with a lot of the terms that we just talked about. See if you can match them up. Let me know how you do on Facebook. Let me know on Facebook how I can help you. And gosh, I wish you the best of success and wonderful travels, no matter where you are.